It was a
Hey,
nice
hey.
series. Welcome back, guys. So, let's see here. Any shout outs or plugs of any stuff that you would like to do? This is a good time for that. Um, Go ahead, Montasaurus.
I'm not really online, but I plugged my band that I make music with last time, so there's the link. We're the Pursuits. We make music, and shout out to Rob, who I play with a lot, and Seiji, and all the day nights that I hang out with on Wednesdays sometimes, and all the day nights that I don't hang out with at all. You guys are pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And to Omega, obviously, for
Oh, thank you.
having this awesome stream.
Should also mention, of course, all the people who are hanging out with us today. I mentioned them earlier. Experta, Hive Mind TV, aka Freaks, Namek, Pilch21, also known as Nomad, Rob Rayner, and ZRQ. So, what about you, Pete Blunts? Anybody you would like to say hi to? He streams some games on Twitch a couple days a week at twitch.tv/PeteBlunts. Yeah, cool. I will make sure to follow you then. But all right then. Getting that out of the way, let's talk about game number one. Game number one occurred on King Sejong Station, turned into a pretty interesting macro game overall. So let's talk about that. We'll go ahead with you, Monosaurus, first. Pete,
Sure.
Pete, feel free to type up your response while he's doing his.
Yeah, let's see. I played that one pretty standard. Just because the game I played before with Experta was me doing a lot of stuff I'm not usually used to doing, so I thought to play it safe and kind of just go for a pretty standard build. I got my gas on 13 sort of thing. But then he kind of was pretty aggressive really early. And I was able to hold it barely and keep my expansion alive. And since I kind of saw that he had kind of expanded behind that and after me, I thought that if I could keep holding myself long enough, I could eventually attack and win because I'd have a small, if only small, economic lead that game. And so it eventually got to one point where he was pushing pretty hard, and I thought to counter drop, and he was out of position, and I was able to do enough damage for him to GG, which was pretty good. I used Widow Mines that game, which I usually don't use, and they helped out quite a bit, I think.
It did offer quite a bit of power, especially against the zealots in the
Mm-hmm.
arm. That is for certain.
Yeah, even if it didn't kill anything, if he like tried to attack from a certain angle, he'd get hit and kind of pull back because he was scared a little, which was definitely nice because he probably could have taken out my third a few times if he just focus fired the planetary.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. I think you need more Colossus to really do that safely. I feel like if he had pushed
Yeah.
in right now with that many SCVs there, he would have lost about half of his army,
Yeah.
probably. So it's tough to say.
Yeah.
But the Widow Mines definitely make that a little bit more like difficult to do because you walk on them and all your shields are gone. So you're like, I don't want to attack a planetary now.
Hmm.
But anyway, let's read his response here. He said, I did my usual build against Terran, which is an early immortal push, and it usually kills Terran early, but hard for me to come back from if I fail. And I don't know, from there he had really good engagements, and the tanks got good hits on me. I wanted to snipe the third, but Planetary scared me. Fair enough. Let's see. So I guess we can move on to the second game then. Second game was on Overgrowth, and you decided to give the Thor build a second shot.
Yeah, I screwed it up, but it was able to. I think with my building placement, he thought I was going to fast expand,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of my plan. So he wouldn't have a lot of defense, at least not enough Thor defense. And I've delayed my second refinery by quite a bit, and so my timing was not great. And the Thors and the +1 armor upgrade didn't come out as quickly as I would have wanted it to be. But in the end, it worked out pretty well.
Awesome.
I didn't scout to see if he had a Robo Bay, but I'm assuming he didn't because he GG'd.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it worked out nice. The Oracles kind of sucked, but I had enough to spit out 3 Thors by that point. So It worked out.
Um, yeah, well, Pete's working on his response. Basically, a mental footnote you want to make about that is anytime you see a Protoss on one base, he
Hmm.
can basically do one of three things. He rockets up into some kind of tech, Robo or Stargate, and you can produce those units plus a couple gateway units. He can produce a lot of gateway units, and the one thing he can't really do is tech switch. So if you see an Oracle, he built a Stargate. If he tries to build a Robo, he's not going to build any more flying units
Yeah.
because he won't have the gas. So yeah, you were right on there not being a Robo. It was actually one of those things where I was thinking if he had gone straight for the Void Rays,
Oh
that
yeah.
that could have
That could.
been terrible. Or if the stalkers had actually continued to focus on the SCVs
Hmm.
when they caught them out in the middle of the map, that I think could have changed things. But yeah, what about from your perspective, Pete, on how the game was going? And he said he didn't really scout that good that game. The Thors caught him completely by surprise. He knew he did economic damage, but he being, of course, Montasaurus had a much bigger army at the end. And I think another key moment there is just the mothership core getting sniped off as well.
Hmm.
The photon overcharge, you can't underestimate how much damage that does. Like you can't really try to focus the thing down because there's a Protoss army sitting right next to you, so it just sits there and kills Marines and whatever else it decides to shoot at. And yeah, but it was indeed understandable to not expect the army to be there.
Yeah, because he caught my SCV pull. I think that was it.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for playing, guys. It was a lot of fun. Do you either of you have any final comments you would like to make before we wrap this up?
Not really. I don't think so. Just see you later, I guess.
And Pete adds, thanks for having me play and well played. As far as myself and Zero are concerned, you can find us playing Diablo 3 along with Otter at twitch.tv/Zero Lambda on Monday evenings. We're playing hardcore characters and trying not to get ourselves killed. So far, so good. We'll see how long that keeps up. Otherwise, you can find me at all the usual places listed by Zero over there, twitch.tv/Omega068, where you all currently are. I also play a lot of Heroes in Hearthstone during the week. Twitter's at Omega Korth, at Zero Lambda for Zero, and of course the VODs at tinyworld.com/daynights. So, thank you all for hanging out today. There is still one more match, but this is not until 6 p.m. PDT. And those of you who don't feel like doing time zone math, that's 3 hours from now. So, we will see you then.